The courtroom was electric, a storm of objections and arguments echoing off the grand marble walls. Lawyers in sharp suits paced back and forth, their voices rising with passion. But in the midst of this high-stakes drama, no one paid any attention to the old janitor, quietly sweeping in the corner. His movements were slow, methodical, a familiar rhythm in a place defined by chaos. Until suddenly, he stopped. He lifted his head, his weathered face set with determination, and spoke, his voice cutting through the tension. "Your Honor, I think I can prove who's lying." Every head in the room swiveled towards him. The judge, perched high on his bench, frowned, peering down over his glasses. "And who might you be?" The man stepped forward, his faded blue uniform a stark contrast to the expensive suits around him. His hands, rough and calloused from years of hard work, held his broom like a staff. "My name is Samuel Reed," he said, his voice calm and steady. "I've worked in this courthouse for 22 years, and in those 22 years I've seen things no one else pays attention to." A ripple of disbelief went through the crowd. The opposing lawyer let out a short, mocking laugh. "A janitor? You seriously think you can solve a case that the best legal minds in this city couldn't tea-crack?" A few snickers echoed his sentiment. But Samuel didn't flinch. He reached into his pocket, pulled out a small, unassuming USB drive, and walked it up to the judge's desk, placing it down with a soft click. "Play this," he said simply. A moment later, the large screen in the courtroom flickered to life. The footage was a bit grainy, but the image was unmistakable. It showed the prosecution's star witness, the man whose testimony the entire case hinged upon, sneaking into the courthouse records room in the dead of night. The courtroom watched in stunned silence as the figure on the screen began systematically shredding documents, destroying key evidence. Audible gasps filled the chamber. The witness's face went completely pale, and the lawyer who had just mocked Samuel stood frozen, his mouth hanging open. Samuel's voice, clear and unwavering, filled the silent room. "I clean that room every night. That security camera has supposedly been broken for months. That's what everyone thought anyway. But I fixed it myself a while back." The judge leaned forward, his eyes wide with astonishment. "Mr. Reed, how long have you had this footage?" Samuel looked towards the defendant, an innocent man who had been on the verge of ruin. "I've had it since the day they decided to blame him," he replied. "I was just waiting for the right moment to clean house." The silence that followed was absolute. Then the sharp, decisive sound of the gavel striking wood. The case was dismissed. An innocent man was set free. It all happened because a humble janitor saw what everyone else was too important to notice. As the courtroom began to empty, the judge called out to Samuel. "Mr. Reed," he said, a newfound respect in his voice, "you may be a janitor, but today you didn't just clean up the floors. You cleaned up justice itself. Sometimes the greatest heroes are the ones we overlook every single day. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more."